Imagine living a full life, reaching 90 or even 100 years old, without ever stepping foot into a gym, without prescription pills, and without the constant noise of modern life. Deep in the rolling countryside, the Amish have quietly preserved the secrets of natural living, deep connection, and true health. Today, let's step into their world and discover 30 simple, powerful habits that keep Amish seniors strong, vibrant, and smiling through a century of life. 1. Begin each day outdoors. At first light, before the chores, before the breakfast bell, Amish seniors step outside, often barefoot, onto the cool, dewy grass. They stand quietly for a few moments, breathing in the crisp morning air, feeling the dampness of the earth against their skin. No rush, no noise. Just the simple act of being present, greeting the earth as an old friend. It's a daily ritual, unnoticed by many but essential for grounding the body and calming the spirit before the day begins. 2. Embrace early sunlight. While the modern world stays indoors under artificial lights, Amish seniors seek the first soft rays of the sun. Without sunscreen, without sunglasses, they allow the morning light to touch their skin, warming the face, strengthening the bones, and awakening the senses. Natural vitamin D, absorbed straight from the source, fuels their energy and helps build the sturdy frames that have supported them through decades of physical labor. This small act, done faithfully each morning, nurtures a kind of health that pills can never quite replace. 3. Garden with bare hands. In Amish gardens, gloves are rare and machines even rarer. Seniors kneel close to the earth, sinking bare hands into rich black soil, feeling its warmth, its life, its promise. Fingers move instinctively, planting seeds, pulling weeds, gathering herbs, always connected to the pulse of the land. There's no barrier between the gardener and the ground. Each touch strengthens not just crops, but immune systems, resilience, and a deep-rooted bond with nature that lasts a lifetime. 4. Read the sky, not the news. There are no phones buzzing with forecasts here. No endless scroll of headlines. Instead, Amish elders lift their faces to the sky, reading it like an ancient book. The way the clouds stack, the scent of rain on the wind, the chill or warmth in the air. Their weather comes not from satellites, but from instincts honed by years of careful observation. They trust the natural signs, and they trust themselves. 5. Offer a silent prayer to the morning. Before the first tool is lifted, before the first seed is sown, Amish seniors take a moment to bow their heads in silent prayer. It's not formal or complicated. A quiet thank you for the day's breath, for strong legs to walk, for hands to work, for hearts to love. Gratitude isn't something saved for holidays. It's the very first act of every single day. And perhaps it is this simple, steady gratitude that keeps their spirits young, even as the years add up. 6. Eat from their own gardens. Every meal on an Amish table begins in the backyard. Fresh vegetables, tender herbs, juicy fruits, all plucked straight from the soil, minutes or hours before they are eaten. There are no barcodes, no plastic wrappers, no long-haul trucks delivering out-of-season produce. Just honest food, grown with patient hands, nourished by rain, sun, and a little bit of prayer. Each bite carries the memory of a season's worth of tending, a story of life sustained by life. 7. Raise and butcher their own meat. The meat on an Amish plate comes from animals raised a few steps from the home. chickens scratching in the yard, cows grazing in open fields, pigs rooting happily in the mud. They are fed clean, simple food, not pellets from a factory, and treated with care. When the time comes, the act of butchering is done respectfully, with deep gratitude. It is a solemn reminder that eating is not just consumption, but participation in the cycle of life. Nothing is wasted. Everything is honored. 8. Consume food the same day it's harvested. In Amish kitchens, refrigerators hum quietly, if they exist at all, but freezers are rare. Vegetables pulled from the earth in the morning find their way into soups and stews by noon. Fruits picked at sunrise become pies by sunset. Eating is immediate, seasonal, and alive, rich in nutrients that time and processing would otherwise steal away. Each meal tastes not only of freshness, but of the very day it was born. 9. Bake their own bread and churn their own butter. The smell of freshly baked bread is as common in an Amish home as the ticking of a handmade clock. Flour, water, yeast, simple ingredients mixed by strong hands and given time to rise naturally. Butter is churned from fresh cream, thick and golden, with no additives, no preservatives, no shortcuts. Every loaf, every pat of butter is made with patience and pride, offering nourishment not just for the body but for the spirit as well. Food is not a product here, it's a craft, a prayer, a gift. 10. Drink pure well or rainwater. When Amish families lift a glass to their lips, they taste water as it was meant to be. Drawn from deep wells or gathered from clean rain, filtered by sand, stone, and time, not by chemicals. No chlorine, no fluoride, no bottled branding. Just pure, living water, carrying the quiet strength of the land itself. It refreshes not only their bodies, but their deep connection to the world around them, a connection unbroken, unspoiled, and deeply sustaining. 11. Physical labor. Every day, in Amish country, exercise is not a separate part of life. It is life itself. From sunrise to sunset, the day flows through steady, purposeful movements. Kneeling to plant seeds, swinging axes to split firewood, lifting beams to mend old fences. Every task calls on the body's strength, balance, and endurance, not for fitness goals, but simply because the work must be done. And through that daily rhythm of labor, Amish seniors stay strong, flexible, and deeply connected to the work of their hands. 12th, stand up and stretch often. Long periods of sitting are almost unheard of. Even in moments of rest, chatting with family, sharing a midday meal, Amish elders rise often, tending to small tasks, stepping outside, stretching limbs naturally. Movement is woven into the fabric of their day, keeping joints supple and circulation flowing without ever needing a gym or structured exercise program. Their bodies, like their lives, are kept in motion by simple necessity and quiet intention. 13. Use hand tools instead of machines. Power tools hum loudly in modern life. But in Amish workshops and kitchens, it's the slow rhythm of hand tools that fills the air. The creak of a butter churn, the steady rasp of a saw cutting through wood, the crunch of a scythe swinging through tall grass. These tools require strength, patience, and focus, qualities that machines too easily replace. By working with their hands, Amish seniors preserve not just skills, but a certain vitality of mind and body that only manual work can sustain. 14. Walk more. Drive less. Without cars at every doorstep, walking is simply part of life. Amish seniors stroll to church on Sunday mornings, to visit neighbors across the fields, or to tend gardens a mile from home. Horse-drawn buggies take them further when needed. But even then, there are always steps to be taken, miles to be crossed on foot. Each walk strengthens the heart, builds the lungs, and keeps the spirit grounded in the slow, steady pace of the land. 15. Climb stairs daily. Their homes are simple but sturdy, often 2 stories, built with care generations ago. Without elevators, lifts, or escalators, Amish seniors climb stairs daily, to reach bedrooms tucked under slanted roofs, to retrieve preserves from cool upper closets, to check on sleeping grandchildren. This daily stair climbing, though small, keeps their legs strong, their balance sharp, and their confidence firm well into their older years. It's a quiet discipline, but one that pays rich rewards in lasting mobility and independence. "16. Begin and end the day with prayer. Before the day's work begins, and after the lanterns are blown out at night, Amish seniors fold their hands in prayer. Simple prayers, whispered thanks for another morning, a plea for strength, a humble offering of the day's joys and burdens. There are no rehearsed speeches or elaborate ceremonies, only quiet conversations with God, steady and sincere, grounding their hearts in gratitude and peace, no matter what the day brings. 17. Read spiritual texts instead of watching TV. As the modern world fills its evenings with flickering screens and endless noise, Amish homes glow softly with lamplight and the rustle of turning pages. Bibles, hymnals, and simple books of wisdom are read aloud or in silence, passing timeless lessons from one generation to the next. Instead of television shows, they find drama and comfort in ancient stories, finding stillness for their minds and nourishment for their souls. 18. Sing together. In the stillness of Amish evenings, song rises naturally, without instruments, without applause, without performance. Families gather to sing old hymns, their voices weaving together in rich, unpolished harmony. It is not about talent, but about togetherness, a shared expression of faith, sorrow, hope, and gratitude, lifting hearts higher than words alone could ever reach. The act of singing binds their spirits, generation to generation, in a music older and deeper than any technology could create. 19. Talk face to face. While the outside world texts and emails, Amish seniors still value the simplest, oldest form of connection, a real conversation, face to face. Stories are shared around kitchen tables. Advice is given during slow walks down dusty roads. Laughter, comfort, and understanding flow freely, unfiltered, immediate, and sincere. Here, words are not rushed, and silence is not feared. Through these quiet conversations, trust is nurtured, and bonds grow unbreakably strong. 20. Forgive quickly. Disagreements happen, even in the most peaceful communities. But among the Amish, forgiveness is not delayed. Grudges are seen as burdens too heavy to carry for long. An apology is offered, a hand is extended, a heart is opened. In a world where resentment often festers, the Amish choose the harder, better path. The path of quick forgiveness, quiet grace, and restored peace. It is not just kindness, it is survival for a community that depends so deeply on each other. 21. Drink herbal teas daily. In Amish homes, healing often begins with a simple cup of tea. Chamomile flowers, picked at their peak, steep gently to calm restless minds. Peppermint leaves, dried and crumbled by hand, ease the discomfort of a heavy meal. Lemon balm, with its sweet, bright scent, lifts tired spirits. Each cup is more than a drink. It's a small, daily ceremony of care, drawing strength from the earth's quiet pharmacy. 22. Use natural oils as medicine. Instead of reaching for store-bought creams, Amish families turn to oils they've crafted themselves. Garlic-infused oils fight off infections. Flaxseed oils nourish aching joints. Comfrey salves soothe bruises and swelling. These simple mixtures, stirred in kitchen bowls and stored in glass jars, are applied with steady hands and a faith in nature's quiet power to heal what is hurt. 23. Apply healing herbs instead of painkillers. When cuts, bruises, or aching muscles appear, as they often do in a life of hard work, the Amish do not first reach for pills. Instead, they mix poultices from fresh herbs, plantain leaves mashed for wounds, yarrow to stop bleeding, calendula to speed healing. The remedies smell of fresh earth and green life, binding the wound not only with medicine, but with memory. The memory of how to heal without numbing the body or burdening it with chemicals. 24. Steam herbs for colds. When winter winds bring coughs and sniffles, the Amish fight back not with pharmacy shelves, but with steam. Pots of water simmer on wood stoves, filled with mint, sage, and eucalyptus. Heads are bowed over rising vapors, towels drawn over to trap the healing air. With each breath, chests loosen, sinuses clear, and the ancient comfort of warm, scented steam works its quiet magic, the way it has for centuries. 25. Reserve modern medicine for true emergencies. Doctors are respected among the Amish, but rarely needed. Medicine to them is a last line of defense, not a first response. First, they trust their bodies. First, they trust the gifts of the garden and the wisdom of tradition. Only when the body's own strength falters, only when nature's tools prove not enough, do they turn to modern help. In this careful balance, they preserve their resilience and honor the healing rhythms that modern life so often forgets. 26. Share meals as a family. In Amish homes, dinner is not just another item on the day's checklist. It is sacred. As evening falls, families gather around long wooden tables. There are no televisions flashing, no phones buzzing. Only warm food passed hand to hand, soft laughter shared between generations, and the steady murmur of stories unfolding. Meals are a daily ceremony of togetherness, a time to nourish not just the body, but the bonds that hold family and faith together. 27. Help neighbors without being asked. When a barn falls, or a family welcomes a new baby, or illness strikes, there is no need for a formal invitation. Neighbors arrive with tools, casseroles, extra hands, and open hearts. Barn raisings, quilting bees, harvest days. These are not special events, but ordinary acts of everyday life. Among the Amish, helping one another is not an obligation. It is a joy, an honor, and a reminder that no one stands alone. 28. Care for elders at home. Grandparents are not tucked away in distant facilities. They remain at the center of the home, telling stories by the hearth, shelling peas at the table, offering advice with a twinkle in their eye. Their wisdom is valued, their presence a blessing. In caring for their elders, the Amish teach their children an unspoken lesson: that aging is not a burden, but a chapter of life to be embraced with respect and love. 29. Keep money matters simple. There are no credit cards hidden in Amish wallets, no frantic shopping sprees or endless loans. They buy only what is needed. They build what they can themselves. They share rather than compete. Their wealth is measured not in gadgets or brands, but in sturdy homes, healthy families, and quiet contentment. In simplicity, they find freedom, a life unchained from debt, comparison, and endless wanting. 30. Practice daily gratitude. In the Amish world, every sunrise is a gift. Every loaf of bread pulled from the oven, every hug from a grandchild, every cool breeze across a field is met with quiet, heartfelt thanks. Gratitude is not saved for holidays or special moments. It is a daily, steady way of seeing the world, a way that keeps the heart light, the spirit strong, and the years long and full. Perhaps the true secret to a long, joyful life isn't hidden in complex science or faraway places. Maybe it's right here, in simple hands, open hearts, and a life lived close to the earth and closer still to one another. Which of these 30 timeless Amish habits would you like to welcome into your life? A pale winter sun is just cresting the horizon over rolling Pennsylvania farmland. In the frosty dawn light, an Amish farm slowly comes to life. Smoke curls gently from the chimney of a farmhouse painted white, standing humbly beside a big red barn. There are no power lines in sight, no electrical hum, only the crunch of boots on frozen ground and the soft lowing of cows in a distant field. This morning, a time-honored ritual is about to unfold, one that has played out in this community for generations. On this crisp morning, several families have gathered at the farm. It's butchering day. Autumn's harvest is over, winter is settling in, and the hogs raised through the year have been well fattened. Men in plain work jackets and broad-brimmed hats heft a heavy hog carcass onto a sturdy wooden table outside the barn. Their breaths puff in the cold air as they work. Nearby, women and older girls in long dresses and aprons stand ready with knives, pans, and earthen crocks. Children, cheeks pink from the cold, linger at a safe distance, curious and eager to help where they can. The scene is at once matter-of-fact and reverent. Most Americans left this chore behind long ago, but here it remains a cornerstone of self-sufficiency. The hog was slaughtered quietly at first light, swiftly and humanely, out of view. Now its meat will be transformed so that nothing goes to waste. There is a steady murmur of conversation in Pennsylvania Dutch and English as the work is divided. An older man, grandfather to some of the children, oversees the process with calm authority. He recalls how his father taught him these same methods when he was a boy. With practiced hands, he separates the hog into sections: hams, shoulders, belly, chops. Each cut has a destiny. Some will be salted and stored away for months. Some will be smoked to last until spring. Some will be canned or made into sausage to be enjoyed throughout the year. Inside a small wooden smokehouse just behind the barn, preparations are underway for the first step: smoking the meat. The smokehouse is a weathered shack, its walls blackened by decades of fragrant smoke. Sunlight spills in as the door creaks open. The farmer and his son carry in several cuts of pork, thick slabs of bacon from the belly, and 2 large hams from the hind legs. They hang each piece on iron hooks, dangling from the rafters. The interior is shadowy and still, smelling of cold ash and aged wood. Long nails along the beams tell of past harvests, where other hams and sausages hung in years gone by. Today, new cuts join those ranks. With the meat in place, they turn to the fire pit in the center of the smokehouse floor. There's no flame roaring here, just a carefully tended bed of coals and green wood chips. The farmer shovels in a mound of damp hickory sawdust and a few applewood chunks. Almost immediately, thick white smoke begins to billow and snake upward, searching for a way out but mostly swirling around the hanging pork. The sun uses a long wooden paddle to adjust the embers, ensuring the wood smolders without flaring into open fire. In this age-old dance, the key is patience and control. The smoke must be cool and gentle. Too hot, and the meat would cook or dry too fast. Too little, and it won't preserve properly. As the first tendrils of bluish smoke envelop the meats, the farmer steps back and quietly admires the scene. The hams and bacon start to glisten as the humidity from the smoke condenses on their surface. The rich aroma of hickory and sweet applewood soon permeates the air, a smell both mouth-watering and comforting. In the dim light, beams of the rising sun slant through the door, illuminating swirling smoke in golden shafts. The father places a hand on his young son's shoulder and explains softly, "We'll let the smoke do its work for many hours, maybe all day and through the night. This smoke will cure the meat, so it stays good for months, just like my father and grandfathers did." The boy nods solemnly, poking a finger curiously at the thick air. He coughs at the smoky tickle in his throat, and his father chuckles, guiding him back outside. Together they gently latch the heavy door, sealing in the aromatic haze with their precious pork inside. Meanwhile, in a very different setting, a modern world stirs. Under the harsh fluorescent lights of a suburban supermarket, a customer wheels a shopping cart into the meat aisle. There, rows of meat rest behind sleek glass coolers, each cut neatly sealed in plastic and styrofoam. A refrigerator unit drones softly, keeping everything chilled. The shopper pauses at a selection of bacon, uniform slices perfectly pink and white, vacuum-packed with labels that read, "Smoked bacon." She never wonders how it was smoked or where. It's simply another product, ready to toss into her cart. Nearby, a stockboy arranges plastic-wrapped hams, each bearing a glossy sticker with a cheerful farm logo. For a moment, mist from the cooling system clouds the glass. The air smells only of cold and disinfectant. In this bright aisle, meat is just another convenience. Clean, cold, and quick, far removed from wood smoke and dawn labor. Back on the Amish farm, the morning's work continues in earnest. At a long wooden table in the barn, another group focuses on salt curing, an ancient preservation method as old as civilization. A young man lifts a fresh ham, its skin pale pink and marbled with fat, and places it into a large ceramic tub. His mother and aunt are beside him, sleeves rolled up to their elbows despite the chill. They have a sack of coarse crystal salt and begin to rub it generously over every surface of the meat. Granules patter onto the ham and the table with a sound like crunching snow. They massage salt into every crease and fold, determined to draw out moisture from deep within. Occasionally, they add a pinch of brown sugar and some crushed black peppercorns. Each family has its own curing mix, but salt is the star here. "Don't be shy with it," the aunt gently advises her teenage nephew as he sprinkles more salt on the thick skin. The boy concentrates, his breath visible as a tiny cloud each time he exhales. He's learning that preserving meat is both art and science. The salt will pull out water that bacteria need to survive, creating an environment where the meat can last for months without spoiling. He listens as his mother adds, "We'll leave these hams packed in salt for many weeks. The salt will slowly work its way through, curing the meat all the way to the bone." Together they layer more salt, completely burying the ham in a white crust. Smaller cuts of pork, perhaps a side of bacon, are likewise covered in salt or submerged in crocks of salty brine. The barn is cold enough that vapor rises from the damp spots where brine spills over. There's a sharp, clean tang of salt in the air, mixing with the raw earth smell of the floor. Once each piece of pork is well coated, they wrap the meat in clean muslin cloth and set it aside in a wooden barrel. One by one, heavy crocks and barrels are filled, and then carried by the men into a cool storeroom adjacent to the barn. In that dark, closet-like space, these salt-packed treasures will rest. A simple pencil mark on each barrel's lid notes the date. In a month or two, the family will retrieve the meat, wipe off the excess salt, and perhaps smoke it, or hang it to continue drying. But for now, it's best to let time and chemistry do their work in quiet obscurity. In a warm suburban kitchen that same afternoon, a woman opens a gleaming stainless steel freezer. A cloud of icy vapor spills out as she rummages for a packet of store-bought pork chops. She finds it and quickly shuts the door, sealing the cold back in with a magnetic thump. In modern life, preservation is effortless. Electricity hums away to keep food frozen solid, no salt or patience required. On the countertop sits a blue box of table salt, used sparingly for seasoning a dinner, not for packing meat by the pound. The woman will likely never salt cure her own meat. She might not even know how. The freezer and the supermarket have taken that ancient labor out of her life entirely. As midday approaches on the Amish farm, the pace remains steady. The smokehouse continues to puff away lazily in the background, a thin wisp of wood smoke rising into the clear sky. Inside the farmhouse kitchen, a hot canning operation is getting underway. If the smokehouse and salt barrel are the father's realm, the kitchen belongs to the mother, and today it's her turn to preserve the harvest. The kitchen is toasty warm, heated by a cast-iron wood-burning stove that also serves as the canning station. A large blackened kettle straddles two burners of the stove, already filled with gently boiling water. Nearby, dozens of glass mason jars stand ready, clean, dried, and arranged like an army awaiting deployment. Two women work in concert here, the mother and her grown daughter-in-law, each with aprons over their long dresses and their hair tucked beneath white bonnets. On the table, cut pieces of meat lie ready for packing, chunks of pork that won't be smoked or salted, perhaps the trimmings from around the bones, or smaller cuts of beef from a steer butchered earlier in the season. The mother uses a hefty knife to chop some of the meat into bite-sized cubes. The rhythmic thok-thok of her blade echoes comfortingly in the warm room. The daughter-in-law peels and slices carrots, onions, and potatoes to add to the jars, a hearty stew mix that will make quick meals on cold winter nights. On the stove, another pot simmers with a rich broth made from bones and spices. The aroma of bay leaves, garlic, and simmering pork drifts through the kitchen. Little by little they fill each jar. The mother packs in a scoop of mixed meat and vegetables, while the younger woman ladles hot broth over it, covering the contents. They work carefully, wiping rims, adjusting headspace, ensuring no air bubbles remain. Each jar is sealed with a brand new lid and a trusty metal ring screwed down just right. The women handle the jars with practiced ease, using calloused fingers and folded cloths to avoid burns from the hot glass. For generations, the Amish have lived simply and thrived, even enjoying remarkably good health and longevity. How do they do it? By embracing habits and values that keep them prepared, healthy, and resilient. This inspirational tutorial will share life-saving tips from the Amish way of life. 1. Survival skills, off-grid living and self-reliance. Even in our modern world, emergencies like power outages or storms can happen. The Amish, who have lived off-grid for centuries, offer powerful lessons in self-reliance and preparedness. Let's look at how their survival skills can benefit you. Preparedness. Mindset. The Amish live each day as if modern utilities might vanish, and it hardly phases them. While others worry about a grid failure or water shortage, Amish communities calmly lead a prepared life as a matter of course. This mindset is life-saving. It means having plans and supplies ready for anything. Tips. Keep an emergency kit, flashlights, batteries, first aid, water, and a backup plan for power or heat. By adopting a bit of Amish foresight, you won't be caught off guard. Off-grid living essentials. Amish homes function without public electricity, using alternatives that older adults can emulate on a small scale. They rely on oil lamps, candles, wood stoves, wells, and windmills for basic needs. You don't have to install a windmill, but consider simple off-grid solutions. A wood-burning stove or fireplace for heat, a solar phone charger, or a generator for medical devices. Even knowing how to light your home with candles or oil lamps can be empowering. And why not learn candle making as a hobby? Creating your own candles ensures you have safe light during outages and keeps a traditional skill alive. Manual food preservation. One of the most crucial survival skills is knowing you won't go hungry if stores close. Amish families excel at preserving food the old-fashioned way. Canning fruits and vegetables is a regular activity, and their pantries and root cellars are always filled with home-canned goods. They also cure and smoke meats in a dedicated smokehouse, sun-dry fruits and herbs, and ferment foods like sauerkraut for long-term storage. Take a page from their book. Stock your pantry with healthy staples and try canning seasonal produce. Many Americans over 60 already enjoy gardening. When you harvest tomatoes or green beans, preserve a batch in jars for later. Not only will you have nutritious food in an emergency, but you'll also taste the summer sunshine in the middle of winter. This kind of manual food preservation is practical and deeply satisfying, giving you food security and pride in self-sufficiency. Community safety nets. True Amish survival isn't solitary, it's communal. If a barn burns or someone falls ill, the community rallies to help immediately. Neighbors help rebuild barns in a day, the famous barn raisings. And during hardships, everyone contributes food and labor, so no one is left behind. For seniors, this sense of reliable community can be life-saving. Build your own neighbor network. Exchange phone numbers with nearby friends, join a neighborhood watch or a church group, and agree to check on each other in emergencies. Knowing you have folks to call and being there for others is as vital as any stocked pantry. Even if you live alone, you need not brave storms alone. Amish wisdom. Survival is a team sport. 2. Physical health and natural remedies. Staying healthy is literally life-saving, and the Amish model of natural wellness can inspire anyone looking to age gracefully. Despite shunning most modern conveniences, Amish older adults often remain surprisingly fit and energetic. Here's how you can apply their health secrets. Active everyday lifestyle. In Amish culture, movement is a way of life. No gym memberships needed. Farming, walking, chopping wood, and doing daily chores keep them in constant motion. On average, Amish men log approximately 18,000 steps per day, and women approximately 14,000, far above the 10,000-step goal most Americans struggle to reach. All this activity pays off. Only about 4% of Amish adults are obese, compared to 36.5% of Americans, and their rates of type 2 diabetes are roughly 50% lower. The message for those of us over 60 is powerful. Keep moving. You don't need to plow fields by hand, but you can take brisk walks, do light gardening, ride a bike, or even adopt an Amish exercise routine like hanging laundry or raking leaves, gentle but useful tasks. Not only will regular activity control weight and blood sugar, it also maintains balance and strength to prevent falls. Start with small habits. Park a bit farther from the store, walk the dog daily, or tend a flower bed. Consistency is key. As the Amish show, exercise can be built into everyday living, keeping you healthy well into your golden years. Natural diet and wholesome foods. You are what you eat, the old saying goes, and Amish cooking reflects that. Their food is homegrown and home-cooked. Virtually everything is canned or preserved from their own gardens. Amish meals are hearty, often including eggs, home-raised meat, garden vegetables, and fresh dairy. While some Amish dishes can be rich, they do love pies and fried chicken. The big difference is there's no ultra-processed junk. It's all made from scratch. For seniors, adopting an Amish-inspired diet means favoring whole foods. Enjoy seasonal fruits and veggies, whether from your garden or a farmer's market, high-fiber grains, and moderate portions of meat and dairy. Try cooking simple recipes at home instead of processed ready meals. Even if it's a basic vegetable soup or baked fish, homemade will usually be healthier. Also, consider traditional food prep methods. For example, Amish often ferment foods like pickles and sauerkraut, which adds probiotics for gut health. And don't forget moderation. Amish physical labor burns plenty of calories, but if your life is less active, choose sensible portion sizes and treat sugary desserts as occasional celebrations. By eating closer to the earth, with natural ingredients and fewer chemicals, you'll nourish your body for longevity. Herbal medicine and folk remedies. When it comes to healthcare, the Amish often turn first to nature's medicine cabinet. In fact, natural remedies and treatments are common throughout Amish society, used as first-line treatments or alongside conventional medicine. Many Amish grow medicinal herbs in their dooryard gardens and pass down time-tested cures: peppermint or chamomile tea for an upset stomach, elderberry syrup for colds, arnica salve for bruises, to name a few. One famous Amish remedy is the B&W, burn and wound ointment made from burdock leaves, used to soothe burns. You too can embrace herbal remedies safely for everyday ailments. Plant a small herb garden with easy-to-grow herbs like mint, basil, lavender, or echinacea. It's relaxing, and you'll have ingredients for herbal teas and balms on hand. Learn about gentle remedies. Perhaps keep ginger candy for nausea, use aloe vera for minor burns, or sip valerian root tea for sleep. These simple practices can reduce your reliance on pills, though of course still follow your doctor's advice for serious conditions. The process of making your own remedies, drying herbs, brewing teas, making homemade vapor rubs, is empowering and connects you to traditions our grandparents knew. It's like having a bit of an Amish apothecary in your own home. Clean living and preventive care. Another Amish health secret is what they don't do. Amish communities have very low rates of smoking and substance abuse. Almost no Amish youth smoke cigarettes, and only a minority of men may occasionally smoke cigars, resulting in dramatically lower tobacco-related cancers, 63% fewer than the general population in one study. They also generally abstain from alcohol intoxication and other risky behaviors. The takeaway for those 60+ is clear. Avoiding toxic habits like smoking or excessive drinking is truly life-saving. Even if you've indulged before, it's never too late to quit and reap health benefits. Additionally, Amish people tend to get plenty of sleep, going to bed early by lantern light, and work mostly in the fresh air and sunshine, which boosts mood and vitamin D. Adopting some of these habits, for example, keeping a regular sleep schedule or spending time outdoors daily, can significantly improve your well-being. Prevention is better than cure, so schedule those checkups, keep your vaccinations current, and use natural preventative aids, exercise, diet, stress reduction, to stay out of the doctor's office. Think of it as honoring your body, the way Amish see the body as a gift to care for. With a balanced lifestyle of activity, wholesome food, natural remedies, and avoiding harmful vices, you build a strong foundation for healthy aging. Three, mental and spiritual resilience, community and purpose. A resilient spirit can be life-saving in tough times. The Amish are known not only for their physical lifestyle, but also for their unshakable community bonds and faith, which give them remarkable emotional strength. Let's draw inspiration from their mental and spiritual habits to uplift our own lives after 60. Community connection and support. In Amish society, no one is ever alone. They live in tight-knit communities where extended family and neighbors form a dense web of social support from cradle to grave. Unlike mainstream culture, the Amish do not send their elders away to retirement homes. Grandparents live with family, often in a cozy, gross-dotty house, grandparent cottage, beside the main house. They remain valued members of the household, helping with childcare, quilting, gardening, or other light tasks, and in turn the family cares for them with love and respect. This constant connection provides purpose and wards off the loneliness that many seniors face. The lesson here is to embrace community in whatever form you can. If you have family nearby, consider multi-generational living, or at least schedule regular visits and involve yourself in grandchildren's lives. If family is far, build a chosen family of friends and neighbors. Join groups at church, a senior center, or a hobby club, anywhere people look out for each other. And don't be afraid to ask for help or offer it. As the Amish demonstrate, caring for each other is an expectation, done willingly and without complaint. By staying socially engaged, you create a safety net for emotional and practical support. Remember, community is medicine for the soul. Isolation can be as dangerous as any disease, while friendship and love literally extend our lives. Regular gatherings and shared meals. One simple but powerful Amish practice is the tradition of regular gatherings. Every other Sunday, Amish families gather for church in someone's home, followed by a big community meal. Women often cook together, and everyone, young and old, eats elbow to elbow at long tables. They also host quiltings, barn raisings, and supper frolics, where multiple families share food and fellowship. Consider introducing this spirit of fellowship into your life. For example, organize a weekly potluck dinner among your friends, or a rotating Sunday lunch with neighbors. Breaking bread together fosters belonging and joy. It can be as informal as soup and bread or a tea and pie afternoon. The point is the connection. If mobility is an issue, make it a phone or Zoom coffee chat with loved ones. Studies show social dining improves appetite and nutrition in seniors, and it certainly boosts mental health. Such gatherings echo the Amish ethos that shared life is a good life. When you know every week you'll see people who care about you, it gives you something to look forward to and a reason to stay active and engaged. Faith, gratitude, and spiritual practice. The Amish draw extraordinary resilience from their faith and spiritual routines. Daily prayer, singing hymns, reading scripture, and trusting in God's will are cornerstones of their life. This faith yields a profound ability to accept and find meaning in hardships. A striking example was in 2006 when a tragic attack struck an Amish schoolhouse. In the aftermath, the Amish community shocked the world by forgiving the perpetrator and even reaching out to support his family, demonstrating almost superhuman grace and compassion. Their acts of forgiveness were so inspiring that people worldwide took notice. We can all learn from this capacity to forgive and let go of anger, which research shows can lower stress and blood pressure. Whether or not you are religious, nurturing your spirit is key to mental resilience. You might resume attending your church synagogue temple or find peace in nature walks. Perhaps start a morning gratitude journal, meditate, or pray, whatever aligns with your beliefs. The goal is to cultivate inner strength and peace. The Amish often say, "Let go and let God," entrusting worries to a higher power. In practice, this might mean focusing on what you can control and releasing what you cannot. Embracing gratitude, for example, giving thanks before meals as the Amish do, shifts your mindset to positivity. And participating in uplifting rituals, singing in a choir, lighting a candle for a loved one, or simply savoring quiet time, can anchor you during life's storms. By integrating faith or reflective practice into daily life, you build a spiritual reserve that truly can be life-saving in times of grief, illness, or uncertainty. It's about finding your source of hope and strength, much like the Amish draw resilience from theirs. Simple living and positivity. Finally, the Amish teach us the power of simple, purposeful living. They aren't bombarded by constant TV news or glued to smartphones. Instead, they work with their hands, spend time outdoors, and unwind by playing board games or singing together. This simplicity greatly reduces stress and distraction. Take a cue by unplugging a bit. Designate tech-free hours, enjoy hobbies like woodworking, knitting, or puzzles, and carve out time each day to appreciate the little joys: a sunset, a good book, a chat with a friend. Simplifying also means decluttering both home and mind. Perhaps downsize possessions that weigh you down and focus on experiences rather than things. The result is more mental clarity and contentment. Amish optimism is also noteworthy. They find humor in daily life and approach tasks with cheer. You might hear laughter ringing out from an Amish barn raising. Cultivate a positive outlook by celebrating small victories and staying hopeful. For instance, try adopting the Amish habit of singing during work. Even if you're just tidying up the house, play some music or hum a favorite tune. It's hard to feel down when you have a song in your heart. With a simpler, more positive life approach, your stress will lessen and your joy will increase. A recipe for emotional well-being at any age. Conclusion. In closing, remember that these Amish-inspired tips are not about changing who you are. They're about empowering you to live more safely, healthily, and joyfully in your later years. You might not raise a barn or travel by horse and buggy, but you can stock your pantry and emergency kit. Try a cup of herbal tea for that cough. Take a walk in the sunshine, or gather friends for a heartfelt meal. Each small step brings you closer to the Amish principles of preparedness, natural health, and community resilience. By adopting even a few of these practices, you're investing in your own longevity and well-being. It's like planting a seed. With care and patience, it will grow into a stronger, more vibrant life. As the Amish have shown for over 300 years, a life built on simple acts of care for our homes, our bodies, and each other can weather any storm. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay inspired by the wisdom of simpler times. Thank you for watching. Now go out and shine bright, one simple living tip at a time.